Hope all of you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. So this is my Visual Studio Code. So before we talk about the next topic, which is strings, let us revisit decorators and understand decorators and use the concept of functions being first-class citizens. All right. So let us see an example, guys. Okay. So let me say I have a function k. Okay, that is called within main, and outside main I define a function k, right? And let us see functions being first class citizens, right? So when I say functions being first class citizens, you can do something like this. With respect to the first point, you can have a variable x, right, and call k, right? So it is essentially like you are assigning the function definition to the variable k. All right, and within this particular function, you can have any functionality, right? So this is just for illustration. We just have a single print statement. You can have any functionality here. So I'm just printing hello, right? And when I say x is equal to k, this entire definition is available, or this is stored in the variable x. All right, so this is assigning a function to a variable, right? So if I print here or if I run this particular program, I don't get any output. Now, if you want to call the function through the variable x, you can say something like this. Okay, now can somebody tell me why hello and hello is printed two times? Any guess?
Because we're calling it two times.
Because you are calling it two times. Okay, so what is here? You have this here. So because of that, this is also getting printed. So now what do you think will be the output?
Hello.
Just a hello. All right. So coming to the first part, right? We are essentially assigning the function to a variable, right? And calling the variable as if we are calling the function, right? So this is with respect to the first aspect of function being first class citizens.
Sir, I joined late. I was supposed to explain generator function. Sorry, decorator function.
Decorator. Pranav, you are here.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I give my presentation to Pranav. Pranav will now explain the concept of decorators. All right. So Pranav, I have just started with the decorators, and I have just said the first concept of functions being first class citizens. That is, you can assign a function just like a, or you can just assign a function to a variable, just like you assign a
Okay.
value to a function. You can assign a function to a variable. I have just demonstrated that. You can continue with this particular aspect and talk about the remaining two aspects and the generator aspect. Sorry, decorator aspect.
Right, sir. Okay.
All right. Okay. Let me just turn off my screen. Yeah. Pranav, now you can take it forward.
So 1 second, I'm trying to share the screen.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible to everyone?
It is visible.
Yes, Pranav, it is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So first, like sir said, we can assign a variable to a function.
You can assign a function to a variable.
Sorry, we can assign a function to a variable. We can also return a function from a function itself. So let's see how we return a function from the function itself. So here we have given this is the outer function and x is equal to hello. And inside the outer function we have an inner function which just says print x. And then return inner function. And inside the main function we have just even outer function. Let's run and see what happens. So yeah, it returns hello. So now let's remove the brackets from line 6. Line 6, sorry, let's remove the brackets from line 8 in the return inner function. Okay, so here when we return inner function with the brackets, it returns the function itself. But if you remove the bracket, it does not print x. It will come here and it will stop. It will wait. So let us see that. So what we have done here is we have taken a variable funct func and assigned it to outer function, and then again we have called we have called function brackets, like how sir just showed x and brackets. Oh, just a second, I've not uncommented this line. Okay, so see, it returns hello. So what is happening here is we are assigning outer function to the variable func, and then we are calling the function using the variable. So first funct, it goes here, and since we have not given brackets here, when we assign it to funct, it just stops there. But here we have given.
Hold on, Pranav, I think you are missing a point. Now, in this particular case, when you call outer function, the inner function is not at all executed, right? It just prints the hello. From where is that hello getting printed when you call funct? Can you just say?
It's getting printed from print x. This is x, and we are printing the variable in line 23.
Yeah, so the function itself is not called.
Which function, sir?
Do you mean to say function funct is called line number 27? So when you call funct, so what actually happens? Can you trace that?
Yes, sir. Okay, so when we call funct, we first go to outer function, and then here we have a variable x hello, and inside that we have an inner function which prints the variable x hello. It does not print immediately unless we have return inner function, because it's just a function definition. And when we do the return inner function, it returns the inner function, so it prints x, that is, it prints hello. So that is what is happening here.
Exactly. All of you students, all of you are understanding. So line number, see, essentially line number 24, when it is encountered and when the line 24 gets executed, the inner function gets called.
Suppose, okay, so let's just, for understanding, let's
Yeah, please.
comment out this. Since now we have commented out line number 24, and let's run the program and see what happens. So nothing. Okay, it's loading. So nothing happens because there's nothing to return, right? Print x is not getting executed because, okay, there's something, none type object is not callable. I don't know what this error is, but It's happening because there is no, we have commented out this line number 24. Since nothing is getting returned or nothing is getting printed, nothing is going to happen. Only because of return inner function, we are coming inside this inner function is being called, and x, that is hello, is getting printed here. Is everybody able to understand?
Sir, it's none type because when he defined funct, there should not be brackets. If it's brackets, then it directly call the function instead of assigning.
Yeah, that is correct. None type object is not callable. So here the purpose here is to let you know that yeah. Continue.
Sir, it's because he used he used the brackets, sir, in the line 26. Last in line 26 of funct is equal to outer function for funct. Those brackets
Yeah.
should not come.
Yeah, true. So for that error to not be there, as you said, you can remove that outer function. You can just assign the function outer funct is equal to funct, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, but it
Yeah.
worked no before this.
That is
No.
because when you call funct is equal to outer func, and when you use brackets, it directly calls the function instead of assigning it to the variable. That's why you got an hello at the first.
Yeah. True. Absolutely true. So that is correct. But he was trying to comment that out and show you the purpose. So the purpose was like in line number 22, when you have a return inner func, that function gets called explicitly. The inner function gets called at that particular time only. All right.
Right. Okay, so now let's see how what is a decorator function. Let's just comment this out. Okay, so let's define a function called decorator function, which takes some argument fun parameter func, and then inside the decorator function, let's have a function called wrapper function, which returns this parameter as a function, right? And then we have return wrapper function. Then in the main function, we have defined the function display, which says hello, how are you? And here we are assigning random, that is inside main function. Random is some variable is equal to decorator function brackets display, and then we are calling random. So here, okay, let's first run the program to see what the output is. Okay, so it's printing hello, how are you? So what happens here is random is equal to decorator function display. So it goes here, and here inside this, see, since this is functions can be treated as first class citizens, we can use function as a parameter itself. So displays the parameter here. Then it goes inside define wrapper function return func. So uh, if, now it is not inside the wrapper function. This is just the definition of wrapper function. Now when it comes to line number 39, it returns wrapper function. So inside wrapper function we have return func, that is display, because in 44 we have given it as display, and then it prints hello, how are you? And when it comes to line number 45, it gets called, and hello, how are you is printed. Am I clear? Am I making sense? Am I audible? What is happening?
Yes.
Okay,
Guys,
so
whether all of you understood this?
Can you explain this part alone, like from first?
okay. See, first we have a function called decorator function. Inside that we have defined wrapper function.
Tell me what's called first and like that.
Okay, fine. Okay, so Random is equal to decorator function display. Display is the parameter. The parameter itself is a function called display. And then we are calling random. So when we call random, what happens is,
So where like which is called first? Like random is equal to decorator function
no,
inside bracket
this is
display.
not line 44 is we are not calling anything. We are just assigning.
Assign.
Random is a variable.
இல்ல
Okay.
பிரணவ், இங்க line 44 லயே when you do the assignment and the second equal to அப்புறம் when you say decorator function display அப்படின்னா அந்த decorator function gets called actually.
So 1 second. So I think I tried, but it didn't come. So
இல்ல 1 second, நீ program அதே மாதிரி வச்சுக்கோங்க.
okay.
See, line number 44 la what is happening is decorator function parameter display. That is called decorator function. That's a function call. So function when that particular function is called, you trace that particular function. Decorator function la வந்து what is available. Decorator function la வந்து there is only one executable available, which is line number 39. Line number
Yes.
37 வந்து அது execute ஆகாது. So when decorator function in line number 44 is called, in the memory, a wrapper function will be defined. There is no call to the wrapper function. So even when you return wrapper function, so wrapper function is not returned in line number 44. அங்க return பண்றதுக்கு ஒண்ணும் கிடையாது. Because
Okay.
அங்க
Yes, sir.
என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா function வந்து define ஆகுது.
Yes, sir. Okay. So, like we saw in the first two cases, remove the bracket and keep the bracket. That is what is happening. Since we have not given a bracket here, when we call this function, it stops here. It stops at return wrapper function, but it does not return the wrapper function itself. Only when we call random again, that time it
Correct.
returns wrapper function.
So essentially, as Pranav said, line number 44 la the wrapper function is defined and the defined function வந்து it gets stored in random. அதுக்கப்புறம் மறுபடியும் நீங்க random call பண்ணும்போது wrapper function gets executed.
Yes, sir. So did everyone understand? Should I go through it once again?
Pranav, we can go through the same program and the execution part இன்னொரு வாட்டி நீங்க சொல்லலாம்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
Okay, sir. So first we have a main function. Inside main function we have a decorator function which takes some parameter fu and c. Now inside decorator function we have another function called wrapper function which returns fu and c, which was given as a parameter in decorator function. Now in the decorator function, that is line number 39, we are returning the wrapper function. இது வரைக்கும் now until till line number 39 it's clear, right? That is the definition of decorator function till line number 39. Now again inside main function we have a function called display which prints hello, how are you. Now we are doing random is equal to decorator function display. Here display is this display function. Here we can in functional style we can use functions as arguments and parameters. Here what is happening is decorator function is called. We are inside decorator function. This is just a definition of wrapper function. We are not going inside it, so nothing happens to this. So it comes to line number 39, which says return wrapper function, and it stops there. What happens is that time wrapper function is defined and it's assigned to the variable random. It's not called because there are no brackets. It just stops there. And then in
Correct.
line number
Correct. Continue.
in line number 45 we are calling random, which has random we have assigned here random we are calling it, right? So what happened is we have assigned random already here, that is we have assigned it to wrapper function with because of line 39, right? So and then it goes to wrapper function and returns function, because inside wrapper function we have the statement return function. Now what we did is display goes to function, right? So here display gets called, so print hello, so hello, how are you is printed. Is everyone clear with this? uh, Uh,
Yeah, Pranav, like the explanation is very clear. I hope all of you understood this.
Yeah.
Yeah, please continue,
Yes,
Pranav.
sir. It's clear.
so in lab class, what we saw is we use something called at and stuff, right? Okay, fine. Again, okay, never mind. This was supposed to be the explanation I gave here when we keep bracket what happens that thing. So let's skip this part. Let's go to what we did in what we saw in class. We use some at something and what it means and how it works. So it's the same thing. Okay, let me just change what this is. Okay, it's okay, it's fine. Okay, let's start. Define main decorator function, define wrapper function. This print happens first, and then display function gets executed. Return wrapper function. The same thing what we had here. What we had here, same thing, but I just gave a extra print function. So what we do here is we instead of giving the whole random is equal to, just a second, I think something happened, not responding. Okay, until then I'll explain. So instead of giving random is equal to decorator function display, we can use the shortcut or the syntax which is given is add decorator function. So what it does is add decorator function, below that we define the function display. So basically what it is saying is display is equal to decorator function bracket display. So when we call display, it was if you remember when we did random is equal to decorator function display, it would stop here. It would appear stop here, right? So now instead of giving random is equal to decorator function display, what we did is we use add decorator underscore function. That is the name of the function. Add decorator function. Add decorator function. Define display. Print hello how are you. So it had stopped at return wrapper function, and now we are calling display. Up to what happens is it returns a wrapper function, goes inside wrapper function, and whatever print. Okay, I don't remember why I had done this. Okay, so it prints that and it returns function. Function will be display itself, because in line number 92 comment, if you see decorator function says display is equal to decorator function display. Below this, below at decorator function, whichever function we define, that basically the compiler will see it like this: display is equal to decorator function display. Upper what happens is in this line itself, display it will be stuck here. It will be stuck at return wrapper function. When we call display, it will go inside the wrapper function and return the function. But that function itself is display. Am I clear? Did everyone understand?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, students, just please remember that this program is essentially a shortcut to the previous program that Pranav explained. Okay, so as you can see here in line number 86 and 87, line number 87, whatever function that you write, essentially that is the parameter to the function that you define in line number 86. So line number 86, decorator function is your parent function that takes in display as the parameter. So you need to remember this. Okay, line number 86, decorator function at the rate decorator function is your parent function that takes in display as the parameter to the parent function. So if you do that way, you can just call display, right? And things will get executed as we have seen the logic in the previous program. So think of this notation, at the rate notation, as a shortcut to the previous calls, calling the wrapped function.
Yes, sir. So should I stop my? This is all that I had prepared for. So I thought everybody will be
You
clear.
can just hold on, or if anybody is having any kind of difficulty in understanding this part, they can let you know.
Sure, sir. Okay, anybody has any questions? No questions?
All right, Pranav, then you can stop screen sharing. Thank you.
Sir, like,
Thank
Yeah, Vaidesh.
yes, sir. In this, like, the small note here is when you're assigning a function to a variable, like random is equal to decorator underscore function display. Won't the function itself get called there?
Yeah, so I'll explain it.
Yeah,
Like,
please.
okay, so see what happens. Can you mute yourself?
It's echoing a bit.
Okay.
Oh my, like,
Okay, so we saw in the first two examples, right? When we have a bracket here, so wait, let me just run it once.
Did you comment out the last part? I think your last part is also uncommented.
Oh, right, so 1 second. No, it's not responding.
See, Vaidesh, essentially, when you assign a function without that parenthesis, you are just making that function as an object and its definition gets assigned to that particular variable. But when you say x is equal to, and when you specify that function along with the parenthesis, yes, the function is called.
okay.
Right. Yeah, cool. If you understood, it's great. Cool, I'll not run this then. Any more questions?
In the last program, line 92 la,
Okay.
because add decorator underscore function says display equal to you wrote la.
ஆமா.
அது வந்து display தான் எடுத்துக்குமா, like we can't change the name, we can't say some, it's like there you wrote random in 90 and 91, that was our choice, right? Any random, but why does it take it as display itself? You get my question?
டிஸ்ப்ளே தான் கொடுக்கணும்னு இல்ல, வேற ஏதாவது கூட கொடுத்துக்கலாம் நீங்க.
ஆமா. இங்க தான் if we have defined it pair a display, we have given it as display, so it is taking it. Inga we can give, I don't know, you can give
no, I think Abhishek is your question with respect to the comment in line number 29 that says display is equal to decorator function.
92 sir. Yes sir. No sir, my question is in 90 we have ஏற்கனவே display இருந்திருக்கு, but in 90 and 91 we have given some other function as random and then we have assigned it here, but when we use the shorthand அது வந்து display equal to தான் எடுத்துக்குமான்னு கேக்குறேன்.
இல்ல display equal to தான் எடுத்துக்கணும்னு இல்ல, நீங்க வந்து display equal to க்கு பதிலா வேற ஏதாவது you can say x is equal to and then call x, it is the same thing.
ஆமா.
ஆனா அந்த ஷார்ட் ஹேண்ட்ல நம்ம add decorate நம்ம அந்த டிஸ்ப்ளேங்கற வேர்ட் யூஸ் பண்ணல, we just use add decorator. So அது இப்ப இங்க 90 ல வந்து நம்ம எக்ஸ்பிளிசிட்டா random equal to னு சொல்லிட்டு add அந்த decorator function bracket display போறோம். ஆனா இங்க அந்த ஷார்ட் ஹேண்ட் யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது நம்ம அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு இதுவே யூஸ் பண்ணலையேன்னு கேக்குறேன். I think I'm not making my question clear, so
இல்ல கொஞ்சம் கன்ஃபியூஸ்டா இருக்குது. Pranav, did you understand? எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் I did not understand clearly.
I think he's asking inga we have given add decorator function, below that we have defined the function display. I think he's saying when we, instead of calling display, can we call something else without assigning it to is equal to decorator function display, such that it such that this same thing happens, such that hello how are you printed.
ஆமா, அப்படி ட்ரை பண்ணி பார்க்கலாம். அப்படி நீங்க பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னா @decorator function அந்த லைன் நம்பர் 86 அது இருக்க கூடாது இல்லையா?
அதான் சார் கேக்குறேன். இப்ப @decorator function யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது we have no other go but to use call display at 92. அது அந்த 92 ல இருக்கிற டிஸ்ப்ளே பதிலா வேற எந்த பேர் போட்டாலும் அந்த பேர்ல போய் சேவ் ஆயிக்குமான்னு கேக்குறேன்.
No, see, line number 92 is it's not inside inside the definition of display, it's in the definition of main function. We are just calling display, or we can put we can do x. Okay, 1 second. I'll just if we run up a display will still be called, right?
Okay.
You understand? And then if you want, we can again do x brackets. It will be called.
No, do you think that will happen? You call X again? Because you have display as a decorator, and when you assign that to X and when you call X, what will happen? Execute it.
It's already showing some warning. Okay, it's some.
Yeah, it is not used, so call it.
Let me just check if it's okay. Everything is commented out. No. None type object is okay. So we shouldn't. 1 second. So what happened is this prints. Okay, it's getting printed, but we are also getting an error because we have given this thing. We had given a brackets here. There is no parameter. So let's see if we only do x is equal to display and call. Yeah, it works. It works. So Abhishek, are you clear now?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Yes. Okay, now. Thanks.
So any more questions? So okay. So I think there are no more questions. Hopefully
Okay.
everybody is clear.
Yeah, okay, Pranav, you can stop sharing. Thanks for your presentation. Guys, please try to make use of this particular concept typically for your last program in your lab exercise. I guess your last program is making use of decorator functions. So please make use of this particular concept to solve that particular exercise.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so it's 10:35 now. We have 10 more minutes. So let us get started with the next topic. Let us talk about strings, guys. So let me share my screen and get started with strings. Hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So here I'm in Visual Studio Code. So let us get started with strings. So guys, as I've already said, and as all of you know, strings are immutable. Okay, so what do you mean by strings are immutable? What do you mean by that sentence?
Cannot be changed, right?
Yeah, it cannot be changed. So when you say x is equal to hello, this is a string, right, which contains some characters, and you cannot modify this particular string once it is initialized. So strings are immutable. You cannot change it. You are right. So that was point number 2. Point number 3. So it is point number 1 only, but essentially as per the line here, I'm just saying. Line number 2, immutable. Line number 3, think of strings just like a tuple that stores characters. All right. So please think of strings as a tuple that stores characters, and tuples are immutable. You can also think of strings like a list that stores characters, but the difference is like list is mutable, whereas your strings are immutable. Okay, string initialization, this also we have discussed in one of our earlier classes. So you can initialize your string either using a single quote or using a double quote, or what is the other way?
Triple.
You can have triple quotes as well, right? So what is the purpose of single triple quotes or double triple quotes? You can either have single triple quote or double triple quote. That is the same thing, but the purpose, what is the purpose? Rather than having a single quote or a double quote. The purpose of having 3 quotes or triple quotes is,
So that you can write on different lines.
yeah, you can have strings that spans multiple lines. Right, including spaces. Right, so this entire thing along with this space, right, is a string. So string spanning multiple lines, you can have it this way. In this case, I'm not printing. So let us see how it looks like when we print X. All right, so you get this as a single string, right, in the same format as you have defined. So that is something about string initialization. You can initialize in 3 ways. Right, next point is retrieval. How do you retrieve the characters within a string? Guys?
You call it like an array, no, sir? Like
Yeah.
a string, square
Yeah.
brackets, and then
Correct.
the
Exactly, exactly. So if you visualize string as a list or a tuple that stores characters, and since lists and tuples can be callable, right, or rather you can retrieve the items within the list or a tuple using your subscript operator, you can also make use of the subscript operator to retrieve the characters within the string. Say for example, here I can say x of 0. This will give me the first character. It starts, it's 0 based indexing. All right. Next point, length. How do you get the length of a string, guys? We talked about this in one of our earlier classes. You can get the length.
sir.
Yeah, you can make use of the len function to get the length of the string. Not only length of the string, you can make use of this particular function to get the length of any container. So I can say this gives me the length of the string. All right. Now, next point is how can you iterate over the string? There are 2 ways. In fact, 3 ways. So ignoring the while loop, right? Using the for loop, there are 2 ways to iterate over the string. How can you do that? The first one is the easier one. You can tell me the syntax and then I will type. How can you make use of the for loop to iterate over x here?
For I in X,
For I in x, all right?
print X.
Print x.
Print
What
I.
will happen?
Print
Print
I.
I. All right. So this is one way, right? There is another way. Can you guys guess? Using the same syntax, for loop, there is another way that you can think of to iterate over the elements of the string.
X
Guess
of
what?
0, X of I.
X of I. Here for I in x of I, you mean which way?
For I in X, print X of I.
Okay. Print x of.
So, int of I. No, sorry, it don't work. Sorry, it don't work.
Okay,
For I
you
in
meant-
range, of 0 to
Okay.
length of X.
Yeah, you can try that, right? So for I in
Range.
range 0 to 0, I start from 0, so that is the default. So you can be explicit if you want. So 0 to
Length of X.
length of x, right? Yeah, this is correct. So this is another way. So for I in range from 0 till your length of x, you print each of the characters. Great. All right, so these are the 2 ways using for loops that you can iterate over the strings. Okay. The next topic is, see, strings are objects. Do you accept or not? Everything in Python is an object. I said you please remember that whenever you write code in Python, please remember that everything in Python are objects, including strings and string literals. They are all objects. So in fact, you can put a yeah.
You said that for using the range one, we can print I. Can you say that once? Like for I in
Your voice
range
is
0.
breaking. I'm not able to get you.
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
So can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So you were explaining that using for I in range, we can print the yeah, that one. Not. Can you just show the output, because I'm not getting, it's printing numbers for me.
So this is the output.
It will print numbers, or
It's not printing the numbers, right? It's printing the characters.
okay.
You are printing x of I. So first time it is x of 0, you print h. X of 1, you print e, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so coming to the next part. So everything is object in Python, including strings, right? So even a string literal like hello is an object. So you can just do a hello and then put a dot and call objects like upper, lower. We'll talk more about the methods that are available in strings in the next class. But please remember this for now. A string is an object. So you can call methods on it. All right. And then you can print x. Okay, so before we actually talk about the other methods that are available and that you guys can make use of, right? Since I said everything is object in Python, including string, right? Let us try to understand this a little better behind the scenes and revisit the concept of classes and objects and try to have this as an example, right? So let us try to have our own class, right? And do a string reversal, right? By subclassing the parent class str. Okay. So inside def, I do a pass. I will come back. Okay. So can you guys just remember, like, how do you define a class in one of our earlier discussions wherein we talked about classes and objects with a simple example? How do you define a class? Guys, am I audible? Hello?
Class keyword and class name.
Yeah, you make use of the keyword class and then class name. So let us name the class as, say, reverse, right? Okay, and do something here so that we reverse the contents of a string, right? And let us make use of the parent class as str. So how can you make use of the parent class within a class? So this is class reverse. So if this class reverse is to make use of the properties of a parent class that is already available, what can I do? Or how can I achieve that? Remember, guys, or you forgot? You can pass that parent class here within the parameter to reverse or within the braces, right? So whatever you pass here in this particular place is your parent class, right? And what is the class name of string? What is the inbuilt class name of string? What is hello? What is the type of hello?
String.
Yeah. So it is str, right? So that is the class name. So that is our parent class which is available. So let us inherit the properties of our parent class str, right? So that it is available to this particular class reverse. So what we can do is we can do a str, right? And then let us define a function that reverses the string. So let us define the function and let us have a constructor. We will talk about constructor if time permits later, but now let me tell you that a constructor is something that actually defines the object. Now you may have a kind of doubt. In our previous discussion, the previous example, we did not make use of the concept of a constructor and we understood classes and objects. That is because even if you don't specify an explicit constructor, you have something called as a default constructor that gets invoked. So please for now just remember that whenever you create an object of a particular type or whenever you create an object for a particular class, right, what actually happens is the object gets created by invoking its constructor, right? And here in this particular example, we are explicitly defining the constructor, right? So let us define the constructor or let us override the constructor of the parent class, right, in this particular manner. So since the parent class name is str, we can specify the explicit constructor as underscore underscore str underscore underscore, right? So this means that this is the constructor that will construct or create the object for this particular class reverse when an object is created for the class reverse. All right. And if you can remember, whenever you define a method for any class, all the methods should have a parameter or an argument. I'm sorry. All the methods should have a parameter or an argument that refers or references to the object or that references the current object, right? So here, as a best practice, as I've already mentioned, it is self, if you can recall back, right? So I pass that self here, and let us do the logic for reversing the string within this particular function, right? So you can make use of a loop and reverse the string, right? Or there is another shortened notation that I will show you for now because of time, right? And we will see this particular concept again in detail in one of our future classes, right? Which is a concept called as slicing, right? So let us make use of this particular concept of slicing to return the string in a reversed manner, right? So what you can do is you can just reference your self object, right? And then you can have this particular notation, right? Colon colon -1. Don't worry if you are not understanding this particular part as of now. This essentially reverses all the items within the list or tuple, right? So here a string, will be passing a string which is essentially, think of a string also as a list or a tuple, right, which contains items, but just that unlike other items, the items within the string are all characters, right? So essentially what will happen is you are reversing all the characters, right? One second. Yeah. So that is the logic here, and this is the concept of slicing. We'll talk more about slicing later, right? Now that I have defined a class, let me remove this parse, right? And let me have a variable x and have a string hello. So this time rather than having the string hello this way, right? Let me create this literal string, right, through my class that I have defined here, right? So what I can do is I can say reverse, right, and pass my string here. All right.
Sir, one second. Did you already teach? Did we already have a class on classes and objects?
I think we did have when we saw about introduction to Python, and the last point there was classes and objects. Let me just check. And yeah, I think we saw.
Okay, sir. Sorry. Okay.
This was the point, and then we saw this particular point with a simple example, I guess.
Okay, sir. Okay. Sorry for the interruption.
All right, no issues. So coming back to line number 10, when you say reverse hello, you are essentially creating an object, right, of type reverse and assigning it to x. And since this particular class has a constructor that returns the reverse of that particular object, here in this particular case string, right, which is essentially a hello. If I now try to print this object x, right, ideally it should give me hello in reverse order. Let us see if it works. Yeah, it gets reversed, OLLEH. All right. So please remember this concept, because I said this because I just wanted you guys to keep in mind that string is a first class object, right, including your string literal. All right. So we will stop here for this session and continue in the next class, wherein we'll look more into strings. Okay, guys?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So let me stop sharing. Stop recording, and then